Turkey is reportedly preparing an upgraded version of its Urjet aircraft. You may have heard in recent days that Turkey has officially started developing a naval version of the Urjet, the supersonic training aircraft that was recently chosen by Spain as well. An aircraft that in some ways competes with our M346 in the Mediterranean, and will focus on the M346 at the end of the episode. Now, according to Turkish sources, work has already begun, with the specific goal of transforming this aircraft, originally designed for land operations, into a plane capable of operating from the deck of an aircraft carrier, facing takeoffs and landings in the challenging maritime environment. Transforming an aircraft to make it operate from the flight deck of an aircraft carrier is not magic. It's definitely not child's play. Just adding an arresting cable isn't enough. The project therefore aims to create an aircraft compatible with Turkey's future naval aviation capabilities, as Turkey is expected to acquire an aircraft carrier in the coming years. Initially with STOBA capability, and later on it should integrate CATABA capability indigenously. The planned modifications will mainly concern the structural strength of the aircraft. The naval variant, as far as we can tell, will receive, as expected, a reinforced landing gear and additional shock-absorbing elements to withstand the typical impacts of carrier landings. But the platform will also have to be completely redesigned to withstand, for example, the conditions at sea, undergoing a so-called full marinization. At sea, as you can imagine, salt and atmospheric factors in general affect the vehicles on board ships. I haven't found any data regarding the possibility of reducing the footprint with folding wings, which is an engineering choice we've seen on some carrier-based aircraft since World War II. Integrating the modifications and studying how to adapt the aircraft will require a long development and testing phase to verify that it works properly during naval operations. According to the information that has emerged, the new naval version of the Urjet will not be limited to just pilot training. In fact, the aircraft is also expected to be used in operational roles and in combat support. The platform could therefore carry out light attack missions, in addition to training pilots destined for future aircraft carriers, or, in this specific case, for the future Turkish aircraft carrier. This dual function would allow Turkey to use a single platform for different operational needs, increasing the flexibility of the carrier air wing. It could open up new possibilities for Turkey. It is a market usually covered by only a few players, such as the United States, China, and France. As mentioned before, the naval version of the Urjet is expected to operate from the future Turkish aircraft carrier Mujem, one of Ankara's most ambitious defense programs. According to Turkish President Erdogan, the ship will be about 285 meters long and have a displacement of 60,000 tons. Current plans include the possibility of hosting up to 50 aircraft on board, including both manned systems and drones. The project would include space for about 20 aircraft on the flight deck and another 30 inside the hangar. The carrier's embarked air wing will almost certainly include Turkish drones such as the Kizil Elma and the TB3. If you want, we've talked about this type of project for the future Turkish aircraft carrier in a dedicated video, and you can find it on the channel. I'll highlight it among today's sources. The aircraft might also appeal to Spain, which, albeit quietly, is considering a conventionally powered aircraft carrier, and not nuclear, in line with the direction Spain has chosen regarding nuclear power. Since, although Madrid has nuclear power plants, Spain has nuclear power plants that are important for its energy needs. It plans to shut them all down by 2035. Now, I'm not the advocate for nuclear energy, so I'll stop here on this topic, but I wanted to point it out because in the video where we talked to you about the possible Spanish aircraft carrier, let me stress that I said possible. I hadn't mentioned this detail, which can help to better understand the choice of conventional propulsion. Maybe Spain will change course in the future? We'll see. Since we're talking about Spain, I remind you that Madrid itself, by the mid-30s, should receive 30 Urjet, which should be granted a certain autonomy and engineering flexibility to meet the needs of the national industry. Let's move to Italy, or rather to Canada. Leonardo has announced the signing of a contract with the International Test Pilot School, ITPS Canada, for the supply of 6 trainers, M346, M346 D Block XX, with an option for an additional 6 aircraft, with the new fleet expected to enter service in 2029. The signing of the agreement took place in Venegono, Italy, one of Leonardo's main Italian facilities. However, be careful because the news is a bit more complex. It won't be Canada buying the Italian aircraft, but a flight school that trains both civilian and military pilots, a similar concept if you will, though not exactly the same as what Italy does at Decimo Manu. Leonardo, in the statement, recalled that the M346 program has surpassed 160,000 flight hours and over 160 units sold worldwide. It's nothing new because at least once a month we bring you some news about the M346 and its commercial successes. That said, if you want, we've talked about it on the second channel, Rassegna Arma. I'll leave it for you among today's sources. Go check it out. Let me know what you think. We dedicated a video to this news about the 346 in Canada, as my grandfather would say. That said, that's all for today. The usual reminders: leave a like, comment to let us know what you think about the news we covered today, and spread the word about Gens Italia on social media. Sources? For more details, check the first comment. See you soon here on Gens Italia.